Hello everybody and welcome to our Android Auto and Apple CarPlay Tech Help Smackdown round 2. So as many of you know, we did the first round about a year ago, but since then things have totally changed. We're now on iOS 13, brand new version of Apple CarPlay, and a brand new version of Android Auto, both just rolled out. So definitely warrants a revisit to see, I guess, if the changes Apple have made and put it back in the game, because it did lose pretty badly in the last round. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it and see exactly what's going on and see if the tables have turned. Alright, so really I think the first main point about these redesigns is just how different they look. They've both changed quite a lot actually. And the designs are totally different now. Android Auto in the past has taken some flack from many people, including Mason, I could also agree that it just didn't quite have as clean and nice of an aesthetic as Apple CarPlay, but they have totally redesigned it this year. So now we're looking at actually a dark interface instead of a light interface with weird colors. It's kind of dark and black and grays. A lot more muted, cleaner fonts that look nice. Everything's more uniform and it just has a more cohesive look to it.
But there is a big major point for Apple here, and that's now that with the iOS 13 update, I can actually choose the different modes that I want. So I'm not just locked into the dark mode like the Android system now is. I can actually choose between light and dark modes in the system.
Now the other really big change in the design actually has to do with a choice about home screens. Android Auto had a home screen. You had your Google Now cards that would pop up. You could scroll through, find suggestions and stuff like that. That's actually disappeared this year. You no longer have that anymore. It's just a list of apps. Kind of like Apple CarPlay used to be before we went to the iOS 13.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, that was actually one of the features that I liked about Android Auto. I wouldn't have admitted it in last year's video, but I really liked that feature. And then Apple kind of stole it and Android lost it. So now we actually have our list of apps like we used to have the option of a home screen.
So you won't hear any argument from me. That definitely is an advantage. I like the look of the home screen. It looks great. It gives you a place that you quickly can get into things and you don't have to keep toggling in and out of applications continuously. So that's good. Definitely a point Apple, in my opinion. Now those two things are definitely advantages for Apple CarPlay, but that's of course not to say that Android Auto doesn't have a ton of advantages. Now the first thing I'm going to mention is the one that's always been a huge advantage of Android Auto, really the entire Android ecosystem in general, and that's just that Google opens it up and the freedom of a lot of different app choices basically. So you can add tons and tons of different apps. You have comparatively a minuscule amount offered with Apple, and you have weird and obscure things. I had downloaded this in our previous video and I left it on my phone because it was kind of interesting. But like for an audio app, scanner radio, so you can find the top 10 police scanners.
Well, I mean, if that's all that you can come up with, that's debatable whether or not that's a point. But I have to admit, I kind of would like to drive around with the police scanner in my car. That's kind of cool.
Right, it's not the point that the police scanner is necessarily the coolest thing and that you want to use it. It's just the ability to, and it's a good example of just how deep it goes, because any type of app that you want in any of these categories, Google provides you with like 10, 20 different options. Now Google also added another new feature this year. It's probably the biggest single change actually to the Android Auto system, and that's the existence of a toolbar at the bottom, because you can quickly click into it and you go straight from maps to audio and vice versa. So we load up the map right here, as you can see, but my audio choice is still down here, and I have the controls to play and pause it and skip it, you know, everything straight from there. And then really the last big update and big difference between the two systems is got to be the new notification shade that's in Android Auto. This is really handy. All you got to do is hit that bell, and it's gonna have all of your notifications listed out in one place, so you can go back and play it, read it, whatever you need to do, respond to it. And that's a lot different from previously, where you'd have the little thing pop up, and this is the way Apple CarPlay is right now. So you just have the thing pop up, it would disappear. You don't know where it really went. You got to go search for it, go back to your messages, click through, whatever. This right here, everything's going to be in one spot. I can't think of any easier or more elegant way to do it. Now we have the fun part, the voice options. But I hear that Siri has been updated and refined to get at least close to Google Assistant's level. So we'll see if it can keep up this time, and see how quickly both of them execute as well, since we will be timing it to make sure we keep everything on a level playing field. It's all about speed and it's all about precision when you are operating a vehicle. Alright, so the first thing we're going to start with is both a navigation query and also testing the smarts to see if it can dig out from a contact someone's address and plug it in. Navigate to Adriana's.
I can't find Adriana's. Where are you headed?
Wow.
Adriana's. Uh-oh, bad start.
Wow, she
Just
ignored
closed
your
and
voice
failed
command
and
said,
turned off.
I didn't know where Adriana's house is, and then just decided to ignore you because she didn't know.
This was something that it did extremely easily in our last round.
That's off to a good start. I'm hoping that Apple can do a better job than that. It wouldn't take much. Alrighty, so now let's see if Siri's gonna work. Hey Siri, navigate to Adriana's.
Getting directions to Adriana. Home.
Boom! Look at that. In about, what, 5 seconds or less, she listened to me. I didn't even have to push a button, and it's navigating. Oh, look! I don't even have to push go.
You know, it might be just some kind of bugs in the introduction, but both of these really are just now rolling out, and still in beta or still in the process of rolling out in the case of Android Auto. So it seems to be fair as fair.
Definitely Apple CarPlay win on that. Hey Siri, navigate to the nearest McDonald's.
The closest one I found is McDonald's, which averages 2 stars and is inexpensive. Let me know if you want to hear the whole list.
And there we go. And it even gives me a little bit of a
9 seconds.
That's good.
Very good. Nothing to complain about there.
Alrighty, let's see how Google does this. We'll let her use the button since she's not going to work to hey Google, but let's see how fast she goes.
Navigate to the nearest McDonald's.
Sure, McDonald's.
Alright, that's it. That does appear that it picked the nearest McDonald's. Yep, that's the correct one. It went straight into navigating. I didn't have to make any selections.
Head northwest on Castleton Way toward Granada Drive.
We're setting it 9.3 seconds. I believe it was 9.19 seconds for Apple. There's no type of difference there. Both did a fantastic job at that.
I'll call that a draw because Apple kind of, I'd say it might be a little bit of a benefit that Google just goes ahead and routes you to the nearest one, since that is what you asked for. However, Apple kind of counterreacts.
Did you have to select?
You do have to push the button, but it does give you a list of different options and also that kind of extra phrase that I kind of liked. So okay. I'm going to call that even on that.
I can agree with that. Alright, and the next thing we're going to do is send a specific text message to each other, see how quickly that process occurs. Send text to Mason's cell. Meet me at McDonald's at 5.
Here's your text to Mason. Meet me at McDonald's at 5. Do you want to send it or change it?
Send it.
Okay. Message sent.
Alright, that finished up.
Time.
Here it is. Meet me at McDonald's at 5. Came through successfully. 22.7 seconds.
Okay.
So pretty decent. Not too distracting, I wouldn't say.
Well, let's see if Apple can do it faster than that.
Okay.
Send text to Drew's cell. Can you meet me at McDonald's at 5?
Which Drew? Drew? Drew Harold? Or... Your message to Drew says, can you meet me at McDonald's at 5?
Come on, come on. You can do it. Please, come on.
Oh, seems a little stuck here on this.
Okay, it's sent.
Okay, and I just stopped it. That was... Alright, we came through. That would be 35 seconds. So that was a little bit of a longer process. I also noticed that was even with you cutting it short by pressing a button to manually
That is a benefit.
That's
a benefit. So I can use that shortcut. However, I mean, I don't really know why Siri took so long to load there. I'd already told her everything that I wanted her to do is just send the text message because I just pushed it. I've seen her do it faster than that, so I'm a little bit upset about that. But, I mean, it is what it is. That was a full 8 seconds longer. So
yeah, and personally, I don't believe that having physical buttons is the way to go. I mean, you're using voice commands. I don't know why they should be tempting you back into pressing on the screen again.
And now we're into doing some trivia. Now, the most popular question of last year was, where is Guyana? Okay, or where's the capital of Guyana? That's what we asked, and everyone tried to roast me about this. I was upset because Apple could not do it. But here we are, round 2. We're going to ask the system, where is the capital of Guyana? Now I know where it's at. So let's go ahead and see if it can come up with that answer. What is the capital of Guyana?
According to Wikipedia, it's Georgetown, Guyana.
Boom! There you go, Siri. She finally
Look at
figured
that.
it out.
Improvements.
That's what I'm talking about.
Improvements.
They must have watched our video and got that program. Georgetown it is. There
Last
we go.
year, it tried to pull up a map, then it had a seizure, and it started flickering, and then it just died.
It tried to navigate us.
It was very confused about why you'd want to know something about Guyana.
Now the real question is is Google going to be slower at it now that Apple has actually figured out how to do that? Let's see how fast they are.
That was about 8 seconds. Alright, so unless things got stupider this year, we shouldn't have a problem with this. Here we go. What is the capital of Guyana?
Georgetown is the capital of Guyana.
There we go. Short, sweet, and simple. They didn't say their source. I don't know if that matters, but
it has to be credible. It has to be a credible
Wikipedia
source.
is not considered an academic source, so maybe Google consulted more options. Who knows? But I'm gonna call that even. We also got a 7.2 second, and it was like a 7.5 previously. No real tangible difference there.
Alright, so our next voice command is going to be to play rap music on Spotify. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm pretty sure this is not going to work, but we can give this a shot on Apple CarPlay.
Yeah, it failed miserably last year for CarPlay. Apple's obsessed with Apple Music and bullying you into using Apple Music, even though 99% of people use something like Spotify. But we're going to start out with Android Auto and see how it handles things here. Play rap music on Spotify.
Sure, asking Spotify to play hip-hop favorites.
She did it.
at
There
that.
we go.
Easy as pie. Stopped it a
11
little bit
seconds.
late, and we still get 11.6 seconds, so can't complain about that.
Alrighty, Apple, let's see if you can actually get this one right this year. I've seen you made improvements, so we'll see about this improvement particular. Play rap music on Spotify.
Spotify hasn't added support for that with Siri.
Oh, so she's blaming it on Spotify.
Look at that, yeah, like it's Spotify's fault. They just don't have any interest of working with iPhones. Who uses those things? Can I roll my eyes any more than
I bet
right
it's
now?
gonna play it on Apple Music. I'm just gonna give it a shot and see if it would. Play rap music on Apple Music.
Probably ask you for
You
your
don't have
credit
any
card.
hip-hop and rap music.
That's right, I don't subscribe. Okay.
I'm surprised it didn't give me your credit card.
I predicted it. I figured they wouldn't have added support, and it turns out they did not. So we'll see. Maybe iOS 15 will have it. I don't know. We'll see.
I doubt it.
Okay, and our last voice command is going to be, what are we doing tonight? So this is actually going to require it to look in the calendar and see what events you have, and actually know what tonight is. Apple
Right.
didn't know that last time.
It had
so-
no idea what tonight was. It was saying things for the next day, like you meant to say tomorrow.
Yeah.
But tonight is indeed a thing. So let's see if Apple has
Yeah, we'll see.
programmed it.
Hey Siri, what am I doing tonight?
Here's your appointment. At 7:30 p.m., go to Kroger.
Boom! There she goes.
All
She
right.
got it again. Boy, they really have made improvements
That's really good.
to Siri this year.
Yeah, it was-
That was very fast too. Very, very good job from Apple on that. Like I said last time, it didn't know anything. It literally just started reading off random stuff in my calendar. So we'll see if Google can beat that, or at least tie it, because Apple is now giving it some rival here, because it actually completed the command.
What am I doing tonight?
There's one entry today. At 7:30 p.m., you have go to Kroger.
All right, it did it.
She did give you the thing. I would debate that she was a little bit slower at doing it, but
Probably a little bit, but I didn't time that one.
I conveniently didn't time that one, huh?
Uh,
We can go back and look at the editing timestamps. Don't think we can't. So we'll add in a little time thing and see how much faster Apple was, because I'm pretty sure she was faster.
I think the main concern has really been just to see if Apple decrapped Siri a little bit, because it did a really kind of a terrible job. We almost, you could say, discovered a lot of bugs during our last episode of this. We just found a lot of things that it just did not understand and could not execute successfully, and it does look like things have improved, although it has both of them have failed on one thing each. That's pretty much it, but we do have a little bit of a wild card just with a hit on our way as we drive around here a bit. I'm just gonna say, send a message to Mason on Facebook Messenger. What's up? This is a super complicated task. If anybody can get this, I'll be really excited about it. And it would definitely, we tried something maybe similar to this. I don't even know if it made the cut inside the video last time.
It definitely didn't work.
Total
last time,
failure
so.
on both ends. So, yeah. Wild card. Let's see what happens. Send message to Mason on Facebook Messenger. Hey, what's up?
I can't send Facebook Messenger messages.
I noticed I didn't even wait to see my message. It heard Facebook Messenger and cut me off to tell me that it's not going to do it.
Well, at least she stops you early
I
before
like
you
it.
get your
Don't waste my
phrase out.
time. That's right. Don't waste my time.
Let's see if Apple has added that. If Apple's added this, then I'm gonna throw a party.
That'll be the day that Apple supports more things.
Send a message on Facebook Messenger to Drew.
I'll need to access your Messenger data to do this.
Oh, she's giving me a little hope. Send message to Drew on Facebook Messenger. Hey, how are you doing?
I'll need to access your Messenger data to do this.
Okay, you can have access.
Messenger hasn't added support for that with Siri.
What a tease. He's like, I need some extra, I need some more information to do this task. Psych! I'm not gonna do it anyways.
That is a little bit interesting. Maybe she does it on other messaging apps. Maybe I'll try Google Hangouts and see if that works. Well, it's Google. I highly doubt it will, but...
I almost think Android should get a point for that.
Yeah,
I've only said Facebook Messenger, and she was like, don't waste your time talking. Siri's all like, here, just gotta get distracted. Click this extra button here, crash your car. and then, oh, never mind, I wasn't gonna do it anyways. Alright, but that's pretty much it for this versus face-off thing here. The tables have kind of turned. I mean, it's not a big difference. It's not really like a huge difference necessarily in the way that each system operates. It's more of like just being a lot closer to each other now. Google added features that they liked from Apple into the system. Apple added features that they liked from Google into the system. They definitely refined Siri. Took a big step forward.
Yeah, much better.
You know, so overall, really, I think the conclusion of this is really that they're closer than ever before. I think that's the biggest takeaway. There's less of a difference and less of a reason now than ever before to choose one over the other.
Absolutely. And you know, even though I still prefer Apple CarPlay, I definitely wouldn't be upset to have to use Android Auto. And I think he would feel the same as well.
I guess I could agree with that, yeah.
But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video and are interested in cars, just be sure to subscribe. We want to make it to 100,000 subscribers, so go ahead, hit that subscribe button, like, and comment below. And we will catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.